I think growing up, I watched a lot of like older shows, so like Happy Days and like super white stuff from like the 70s and 80s, where like there was no representation. I kind of rejected all the culture I was given to me from my parents. Not Claudia Cardinale, but Claudia Delfina Cardona. Not the famous Italian actress, but rather the daughter of Jesse and Olga Cardona. Would you like to be called Claudia or Claudia? Claudia, please. Claudia makes me sound too Mexican. Claudia is the name of girls from the West Side who smack their gum in the passenger seat of their boyfriends' cars. No, that's not me. I'm Claudia, a girl who wants pale skin and European features. As Claudia, I can be anyone. I'll lie about living on Cincinnati Street and I'll stay inside all summer. I spit at Claudia, I do not know her. I tried loving Claudia once, but she rejected me. As Claudia, I got asked, "Are your parents from Mexico? Do you speak English? Why didn't your parents teach you Spanish? So how could I love a name that fights me?" Now at 21, Claudia has crawled back to me. What once used to fight me has become my weapon of choice. It has activated my Pocha powers. I am Claudia Delfina Cardona, friend of the biblical Paul, daughter of Apollo and Daphne, dweller among the thistles, a woman with a name that no longer rejects me. They wanted me to like be in touch with like my Mexican culture, and I was surrounded by like art and poetry by Mexican Americans. But I guess since I was so familiar in that, especially in San Anto, like I kind of was like, no, like I want to stand out and be different and like, like do different things that doesn't have to involve my culture. In high school, I like was super into film, classic film, and like I thought like British culture was like super cool. And then I think like towards the end of high school, beginning of college, I got more in touch with that and with my Mexican roots, and really wanted to explore that and realize how many resources I had here, and the history that my parents experienced, and like the artists that they knew were like people I look up to now. And I think it's really cool to like go back to that because it was already in my home, and I already had all of these like books by poets that I love, and they're like, oh yeah, like I used to hang out with this person, or yeah, and I was like, what? Like that's so cool that they're a part of like this history that I'm super in love with now and I'm proud of. So I think that transition is like a very crucial time for me, and that's why a lot of my poetry deals with kind of that transition and my feelings before my transition into loving my culture, and afterwards. I thought I wasn't good at poetry. I thought I was going to try fiction, and I got into Texas State, and I'm currently there. I'm in my like 5th week of school, and it's an incredible experience just being around poets and being able to study that and sharing my words in a space that is predominantly white. I think there's about 8% of people of color in graduate studies. I think there's a lot of pressure to be the representative of the entire people, which I think a lot of people of color struggle with when writing about their experiences. But I think my voice is very unique, and it hasn't been really out there, or at least in the mainstream, and I really want to push through that through my studies, and continue to write poetry and inspire others to write poetry.